I saw the meteor cross the sky while closing the barn, but something told me it wasn't a normal meteor. That unknown thing fell in my north field, and the impact shook the whole house. I ran through the golden wheat while the air filled with a strange smell of burnt ozone. The furrow it had left was at least 200 meters long, and at the end of that path of destruction, I found a ship. The door opened with a pneumatic hiss, and she fell to the ground as if she had no strength. She had purple skin, hair of an impossible turquoise, and completely black eyes. From a wound in her side flowed something that looked like blood, but was blue. "I'm not military. Please don't call the military," she said in perfect English before passing out completely. I took out my phone, but as always, there was no signal in this part of the field. The nearest hospital was 50 miles away, and if I called 911, the military would come and probably dissect her like an animal. I don't know exactly why I carried her in my arms. She weighed less than I expected, as if she had the hollow bones of a bird. I took her to the house where I'd lived alone since Sarah left me 5 years ago. I placed her carefully on the couch while her blue blood stained the cushions. Suddenly, she opened her eyes and grabbed my arm. "There's a medical kit in my ship. It's in compartment B7. I need you to bring it." I ran back across the field and found something that looked like a first aid kit. But with technology, I couldn't comprehend. "You have to inject this in my neck, right here," she pointed with a trembling hand. I did it without hesitation, and the wound started closing by itself before my eyes. She would explain later they were medical nanobots. She passed out again, and I watched her all night, wondering what the hell I had done bringing an alien to my house. I was making bacon when I heard her move in the living room. I don't know why I acted so normally, as if extraterrestrials fell in my field every Tuesday. "I don't eat meat," she said from the kitchen door. "Are eggs okay?" "Protein is acceptable for my digestive system." She sat down carefully in the chair, and I noticed she was studying me intensely. I saw she had a device on her wrist that blinked constantly, and I assumed she was recording everything. "My name is Tom. My designation is Zara 7, but you can just call me Zara. Where exactly do you come from?" It's a complex question to answer. "Do you know the Kepler 442b system?" "No, I've never heard of it." "Then the detailed explanation doesn't matter." She ate the eggs methodically as if she analyzed every bite she took. The device on her wrist didn't stop blinking for a second. "Your ship must be damaged," I started to say. "The emergency beacon is already activated and my people will come in approximately 30 solar rotations." "You mean a month?" "Yes. In Earth terms, it would be a month." "Are you some kind of explorer?" I noticed she hesitated before answering, and it was the first time I saw her try to lie. "You could say something like that." I didn't want to push further, and went to work the field because I needed some normality. From the window, I could feel her eyes following every single movement while that device kept blinking and recording. It was obvious she was studying me like a specimen. When I came back at night, she had completely reorganized my kitchen. "It's much more efficient this way," she said simply. I didn't mind because it had been 5 years since anyone touched anything in this house. "Why do you live completely alone?" she asked as we walked through the golden wheat stalks. I could have made up some lie, but I decided to be honest. "My wife left me because she said I loved this land more than her." And was what she said true? Yes, completely true. She looked at me differently, and her device recorded my answer with special attention. "In my world, No one lives alone, because we're a species of collective. Like bees in a hive? It's more complex than that, but yes, we share a common purpose. And what's your purpose here on Earth? She touched a wheat stalk with her hand, and I saw it change from golden to purple, then return to its original color. It was impossible, but it was happening before my eyes. That information is classified. I showed her where I'd hidden her ship under a huge tarp so no one could see it from the main road. Thank you for not calling the authorities. I've never been a fan of the government anyway. That night, she insisted on cooking and used my vegetables, but transformed them into something with flavors that shouldn't exist on this planet. Your file indicates you've been 1,827 days without significant company. What file? She pointed to the device on her wrist, naturally. I study human behavior in isolation conditions. So I'm a lab rat for you? You're important data for my research? I should have been angry, but I wasn't. At least she was honest with me, more honest than Sarah was at the end of our marriage. On day 10 of her stay, a terrible storm arrived with a tornado warning. I grabbed her hand, and we ran together to the barn shelter. In the darkness of the shelter, I noticed she literally glowed. Her veins pulsed with a faint blue light when she was afraid. It's my first Earth storm, she admitted, trembling. We're not going to die, I promise. You don't have enough data to make that conclusion? I laughed at her response, and she laughed too, for the first time since she arrived. The tornado passed dangerously close, and the whole shelter shook like it was going to collapse. She clung to me tightly, and I felt her heart against my chest. It had a triple rhythm, completely alien, but strangely familiar. Tom, I need to tell you something. What? My real mission isn't just observation, and I saw her deliberately turn off the recording device. I already suspected that. How did you know? Nobody sends a single explorer to an entire planet. Your military reconnaissance studying us before colonization? Yes, that's exactly it. Her voice became very small. My people are desperately seeking a new home, and Earth is a perfect candidate. And I'm the perfect guinea pig, a completely isolated human. You were that at first, but now you're a complication. What kind of complication? The kind that makes me reconsider my entire mission. The tornado finally passed, and we left the shelter. My barn was miraculously intact, but something fundamental had changed between us forever. She took me inside her ship and showed me technology my brain could barely process. Holographic screens floated in the air, showing data about Earth, about humanity, and specifically about me. Look at this, she said, touching a panel, and showed me her home world. It was dying slowly, while its red sun expanded, devouring everything. I saw entire cities under protective domes and billions of beings desperately waiting for evacuation. We urgently need a new home, she said sadly. But we also need to confirm biological and social compatibility. That's why they sent me here, to see if humans and Xeranians can coexist peacefully. And can they coexist? She looked directly into my eyes, and she was no longer the cold alien scientist. She was just Zara, vulnerable and real. With you, they definitely can. I kissed her without thinking twice. Her lips were colder than human ones and tasted of ozone and alien mint. She pulled away gently but firmly. I can't do this. If I report that I've developed an emotional connection, they'll cancel my mission immediately and send another observer who's less sympathetic. So what are we supposed to do? Nothing at all. In 10 days, I'll leave and report that Earth isn't viable for colonization. My people will search for a different world. Would you condemn your entire species for me? It's not just for you, but for your entire species. They deserve to choose their own destiny, not have it imposed from the stars. I loved her completely in that moment. This purple woman from another world who chose our freedom over her people's survival. There's another option you haven't considered, I said, taking her hand. Day 30 arrived too quickly for my liking. Her rescue ship descended slowly over my wheat field. "Come with me, please," Zara said for the 10th time that morning. I had already sold the farm through my lawyer and signed all the necessary papers. Sarah would finally get her share of the divorce, and my brother would think I died or ran away. Both things would be true in some way. "What exactly did you tell your people?" I asked while packing my small suitcase. I told them the truth partially. That Earth isn't suitable for mass colonization, but I found a much better world. It has no native intelligence and needs terraforming, but it's absolutely perfect for us. Does that world really exist? Yes, I discovered it in your NASA files. It's called TOI-715b, and you detected it but don't have the technology to reach it yet. And what will we two be there? We'll be the initial advance team. You'll be my agriculture specialist and teach my people how to work the land properly. I'll be the official liaison between species in case other humans want to join voluntarily later. Basically, I'll have a farm on another world. It'll be your farm, but in our shared world. I entered the ship with her without looking back even once. The golden wheat became small in the distance, and Earth turned into a blue marble. "Will you regret this decision?" she asked, as Earth disappeared into the darkness of space. Sarah said, "I loved the land more than anything else." But she was wrong. What I loved was solitude, until you fell from the sky. I literally fell from the sky. Yes, literally. The purple wheat grows extraordinarily well here. 2 suns mean double the natural photosynthesis. Zara genetically adapted the seeds and I adapted the earth farming techniques. We're not alone in this experiment. 20 more mixed couples came after us. Humans who chose love over their home world, and Zaranians who chose the future over their past. My file now clearly says, Day 389, without isolation. Zara is pregnant with our first child. We don't know exactly what it will be, human, Zaranian, or something completely new. What I do know for certain is this. Sometimes love literally comes falling from the sky when you least expect it. And sometimes it's completely worth leaving an entire world behind to build a new one with the one you love.